right, buckle in because I've found someone that I want to talk about, and as per usual, I want to share him with you guys. Let's just start right at the beginning. Ned Fulmer. You know who that is? No? Well, let me introduce to you Ned Fulmer as he was once known, the wife guy.
My wife, 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 my wife.
So, as you can see, this guy used to talk about his wife quite a bit, and it was always in a positive light. He always used to brag about his wife and talk positively about her, which is kind of something that he became known of. Everyone that was a fan of him was like, he's the wife guy, he's so wholesome. And then one day, the Try Guys, which is the group that he was a part of, ended up posting this. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, what could have prompted this post to be made? Those of you already in the know, don't worry, we're going to get to current events. But for those of you who don't know, he was caught, that's right, cheating. Who would have guessed it? The wife guy outed for what everyone wouldn't have expected for the most, cheating. And to back it all up, it wasn't just cheating with anybody, it was cheating with somebody he worked with. That is what he's going to be referring as the scandal during this podcast session that happened a month ago. Why did he do this podcast? Well, he wanted to start up his Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer channel. It seems like it worked to a sense because he ended up getting about 1.4 million views on this. And it's because it's so cringe. He starts out with a 4-minute intro essentially explaining how bad and how wrong it is that he cheated with his wife, which we all know, but 3 years later, he thinks that it's a good idea to dredge this all back up again, put into the spotlight, and grab people's attention with. I have never had anything wrong with people trying to get out there and be creative or have a second chance at something, come back. He could have tried this without just instantaneously dredging up all of this harsh, negative aura that she also has to deal with throughout the entire podcast. He goes off and says that this is going to be her point of view. And it is, I guess, but mainly because he's interrogating her, asking her questions like, how did it feel when you learned that I had my cock inside another woman?
I wanted to say that I'm sorry. I hurt you. And I hope to make amends over time. And one step is to publicly witness the pain of my partner, Ariel. This is a conversation with Ariel in this video. It's painful at times. It's honest, vulnerable, brutal. But it's necessary for her to move forward, and I'm grateful for the chance to witness it. Yeah.
Publicly witness your partner's pain. I'm sorry, you guys hear that too, right? It's like a tone that I would give a character in a game that's supposed to be a little bit more emo, a little bit more depressed, like, oh god, mom's making me go get the groceries. It's that type of thing. It's like, oh, feel bad for me.
How can I move forward in my life without people knowing the next part of my story if they're still stuck on the 2022 part of my story?
That's kind of the thing, isn't it? And that's the whole reason that we're here, because we're stuck in 2022.
So I wanted to include this in there because, as you can hear, it does seem like she's 100% on the same page as him. This is something that we need to do to move forward. And for her, I can kind of see this point of view just because of the fact that I feel bad for her. And so many people feel bad for her. And I don't think they want that anymore. I don't think she wants that anymore, I mean. So what I'm saying by that is they are both still decently recognizable figures, right? So by going out, someone sees Ned, they think cheater. He wants to somehow get rid of that, even though he's basing this first episode of his podcast on being a cheater. So now, from the wife guy to the cheater guy he goes. And for her, the more understandable route is she wants to stop being pitied, I think. She's over it as far as we can see currently, and she should probably just be left alone in terms of that. That's a piece of their past at this point. She's moving forward. She's dating other people, and that's just where I think that she's coming from. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I can't read people's minds, but either way, this entire podcast, I'm going to just show you a couple of clips. Trust me, it's for your benefit. If you do end up going to watch it, I warned you, you're depressed now. The ratios show you this video has 153,000 dislikes and compared to its 8.4K likes. Not a good ratio.
People ask me, like, do you forgive Ned for what he did? And I mean, the answer is no, absolutely not. How can you forgive somebody for lying to you, for cheating on you? No, fuck no. Like, that, like, I don't even, it's, sorry, I saw red for a minute. It's like, no, the answer is no.
It's hard to hear you saying like, fuck no, I don't forgive you. But of course I get it. I mean, you're still, as much progress as we've had, you're still very angry.
Yeah, of course I'm angry.
I don't know if you could tell there, but the mask slipped a little bit. There were a couple of times where you could see the true pain that she was feeling. And of course, she doesn't forgive him from that. And I don't think that she should. I think that people in general are mature enough to not forgive someone and still collaborate and work with them. They have kids together. They still co-parent together, which is good. That's as good as it can get. And honestly, I'm glad that she seems to have moved on. And obviously, it's going to hurt because it's like twisting a knife that's been in there, just kind of stagnating, sitting. And you're trying to just kind of look past it and get better. You know what I mean?
Once I, answered it in such a way that you knew exactly who it was and what had happened, yeah, then you were like, take me back to the airport.
Yeah.
That part was very cinematic, if you were trying to be like in a movie.
I'm sure, Ned. I am 100% sure that once she learned that you were sliding your sausage inside of your producer, that she was like, oh, take me back to the airport. Trying to be cinematic, look out the window and playing some old 1990s sad music. No. She wanted to get the fuck away from you because you just destroyed her trust. You just destroyed both of your guys' lives, essentially. Just because you couldn't realize that probably wasn't a good idea to do. Took 3 years of therapy for you to be like, dang, I'm cheating bad, dog.
Not only did you having an affair just, it shattered our marriage, but it also, like, all of that guilt and shame, you, like, hoisted that on me. Like, you gave that to me. And now I have to carry that around for the rest of my life.
I don't think it's fair that as a society you're put in that position. It's certainly not true.
I'm just gonna butt in here, but can you see the look on her face? I had the same one when I first heard this. Society hoisted this upon you. Oh, I feel so bad for you. Oh, this is not how it should be. In case you're wondering what she means by the guilt, this is something that happens often, and it's actually something that surprises me because I wasn't actually aware of this. I had to do a little bit of research, a little bit of looking into it, but apparently it's a very common thing that happens that in an affair where a man cheats on the woman, some people's thought goes to, what did she do to make this happen? What the fuck do you mean? But essentially, that's the guilt that she's talking about. Everyone views her differently. Everyone either asks that question in their head, everyone either pities her, feels bad for her. I mean, I instantly started feeling bad for this woman once I heard about the whole situation that was happening. And it's It's something that, like she said, she now has to walk around with forever. And Ned is just sitting there trying to prophesize his way out of this. Oh, society, misconceptions that shouldn't be construed upon you. I can't believe this is happening.
And no, it's not something that I imagined as I was doing that. I think none of it was. If you really like let it sink in just how much you're hurting your partner and how devastating it is, like, how could you do that?
Let's just move on from the podcast. If you guys want to put yourself through that torture, go ahead. I've already watched a lot of this way too many times. But anyways, we're going to move on to his most recent addressing the backlash, which is another horrible YouTube apology to add into the books, I think. Let's be honest, he doesn't address much backlash.
That episode with Ariel was mostly about her story, and now in this video, I'll tell a little bit more of mine. There's a lot that we wanted to keep private, but some things I'll touch on today.
This is my video. I'm allowed to interrupt. Anyways, it's just weird to me that you would try and publicize your affair again. If you need to make this public, make a post. Me and my wife have separated. We are looking at other people. What the fuck? Dating other people. We are co-parenting the kids. Blah blah blah. Just make a blog post, put it out there. Move on. I don't understand how putting this out there. And honestly, it's a hard podcast to watch. I hate to have to reiterate this again, but putting a podcast that is based on the fact that you cheated on your wife to try and make another break into popularity, which I'm not going to say it didn't work, but it worked for all the wrong reasons. You got 1.4 million views and you got ratioed. Holy fuck, did you get ratioed? Apart from that, though, he does say that he's here to now talk more about his side of the story. I honestly don't think anybody had an issue that he wasn't talking about how he fucked his producer more. That is not really what people had an issue with.
First, I know that it was a very painful and uncomfortable conversation to watch. I know for some of you, it reopened things. For us, it felt like a necessary step to be able to move forward. We knew we would always get these sort of questions in any context online, and it felt like the only way to move forward was just to face it head on.
Brother, during your podcast, the only thing that was being faced head on was questions from you to Ariel. I don't understand. What do you mean we have to face this head on? You fucked a coworker. There's nothing for you to face. You've already faced it. No one likes you anymore. It's a pretty obvious situation, especially because your entire personality was based around being the wife guy.
After Discovery, I started an intensive program of therapy, group therapy, and work to really try to understand what I had done, why I had done it, and what it meant for my relationship and my life. This involved a lot of facing rationalizations, denials, minimizations, all of these mental clouds that help you continue behavior that you know is hurtful and you still do it anyways. So it let me face the truth and acknowledge in no uncertain terms that I cheated on my wife with an employee of my business, and it caused her immense pain and shattered our marriage.
So it took you an extremely long period of time to be like, damn, cheating's bad. My wife didn't like that. Oh shit, it's my fault she's not my wife anymore. To me, it just seems like he dredged this up for public notoriety. People know about him. people know about his scandal. Oh, he's on a podcast with his wife? That's why 1.4 million people tuned in. All right, he knew what he was doing. This wasn't a release or exploration of the last 3 years between him and his wife. This was a propaganda tool. That's what it at least comes off to is for me.
Continued to understand why I had done what I did, what the underlying issues were, and what it was that I was running from when I chose to do that selfish and self-destructive behavior.
You were running away from your balls, dude. They were full, and you just had to put it in your producer, apparently. What do you mean? What do you mean? I have to figure out what was the reason that I did this? It's because you wanted to. At least that's the way that it comes off to me. It just baffles me. It leaves me without words because at the end of the day, like he said, he put in the work. His wife put in the work. They both went to therapy. However, it all worked out. This didn't need to be so public. This could have just been a post saying, like, it's been 3 years since the incident. I feel an update is due. Bang, put it out. But instead, a whole channel was launched based on it.
So from there, Ariel prepared an impact letter that described all of the pain that she felt, and I was able to hear that and take it in and sit with it to really understand all of the ways that my betrayal had affected her and what it meant through her point of view.
Okay, I like that. This is essentially like rubbing a dog's nose in their own piss. All right, this guy deserves that. I like this section. This little piece, I like to hear that. Also, I hope people don't do that anymore. Rubbing a dog's face in its own urine. Is that the only way to do it? I'm not a dog owner. I'm not going to judge, but like, is that the only way to do it?
So this was a long process that it took, approximately 2 years, and continues work even to this day at the 3-year mark.
That's pretty much the entire video. This was released 8 days ago, so a few weeks after the podcast, a few weeks to a month after the podcast was released. And I just want to reiterate again, this podcast was the launch of this new Rock Bottom with Ned Fulmer channel. He launched his podcast with his foot in the shittiest pile of dung that you possibly could. Just digging up a past scandal that you're a part of. This still is just a very weird, unnecessary thing that got released. And the rest of his podcast doesn't match up at all. After having this podcast where he just talks about his affair, he ends up going on to have quite a few podcasts with some notable people, which I'm assuming he's paying. And he's just paying for people to not like him. So he released another video right after the conversation, 52,000 views. Next one, 21,000 views. And that pattern continues until the most recent video, it goes up to 5.1k views. But the pattern hasn't died because the only reason that I think that's gone up to 5.1k views is because he did release that video 8 days ago. People were probably curious and came and clicked on the video to see what it was about. And it's not in any way, shape, or form relating to the affair or anything like that. So to me, this affair, again, this whole scandal situation was just being talked about so that you could hopefully launch this podcast, push yourself back into the public eye, and hopefully make some money off of it, which I think is a pretty scummy thing to do. I hope that there's a bunch of positive shit that ends up coming out of this for Ariel, because at the end of the day, she is the one that suffered the most from all of this. And if you end up watching the podcast, there's a lot of him just nodding and staring at her as she talks about how shit it made her feel that he did this to her. It's difficult. I just pretty much wanted to talk about that. If you guys enjoyed, please make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. I would really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.